You will never be with me. Clockwerk is superior.
The road trip gave me the time I needed to study up on the Panda King.
I see you carry Kane of notorious Cooper Clan. Have you come here for revenge? To steal back the Thievious Racoonous? Your skill with that Kane is unparalleled.
Sly! I did a cross-analysis of the metal used in that high-tech blasting vehicle, and it turns out it can only be found in one place. The Racoonous volcano in Russia. That's got to be where we'll find the 5th member of the Fiendish Five. So get what you came for and let's get out of here.
We were on our way to the Racoonous volcano in Russia. While looking over what little information I had on the final member of the Fiendish Five, I began to notice something. In the 4 parts of the Thievious Racoonous recovered so far, several of the pictures depict a shadowy owl-like figure, which looks very similar to the police images of the mysterious Clockwerk. Is this a strange coincidence, or is there something I'm missing?
It seems kind of weird that Clockwerk would wait until 2002 to enact the whole "I want to prove that without your book you're nothing" plan. I mean, he could have literally done it at any point in his life.
First things first, we've got hostile robo-falcons at 12 o'clock, Sly.
Okay, I'm starting to struggle on how Clockwerk got all this done to begin with, because he's the most bestial out of the Fiendish Five. But who are these robo-falcons? Were they like him, just ordinary birds that he roboticized?
That's no tower, it's a giant death ray! Sly, take out those rocks or we're in trouble!
Clockwerk, the immortal board of the ages, with the wisdom of the ages, somehow doesn't realize, hey, why build a tower death ray when I could just put it into my own robotic body to use?
Nice shooting, Sly! Looks like we're in the clear.
Murray, that cave doesn't look tall enough for the turret to make it all the way through.
We've got to get through that security door on the far side of the cavern. The only way to unlock it is to analyze at least 60 of those hanging computers.
Would have been easy to get at them if Murray hadn't thrashed our new turret.
Yeah,
Well, if he could take his foot off the gas and just let us retract it, maybe we'd still have that cannon. That would have been really useful in Sly 2 and Sly 3.
won't be a problem. I can hack the computer's connection coupling so they'll fall to the ground. Then, Murray will have to run over them with the van.
I feel like you can skip a step. Why hack their couplings to make them drop and risk losing them when you could just hack in, take the codes, unlock the door? Sounds simple, doesn't it? I can't believe I didn't mention this before. Murray, why are you sticking your head out the window? Can you not see through the windshield? Okay, the Robo-Falcons kind of make sense. They could be people Clockwerk offered immortality, very much like himself. But where the fuck did these fire slugs come from? Did he somehow figure out a way to create elementals? And lastly, this level isn't bad, but it's incredibly frustrating because it suffers from the camera problem from Piranha Lake, where it's always locked in the position you leave it in, and it never turns by itself. You have to turn it manually, so you're fighting just to see where the computers are and where the fire slugs are, because they're after them too.
Careful, Sly! Those tiles are booby-trapped! You better get out of there!
Hold on. That's Carmelita. She looks trapped.
Serves that cop right. She's been dogging us from the start.
It's just a misunderstanding. We've got to free her.
A misunderstanding. You do realize Clockwerk has an Interpol file, meaning he's wanted on Interpol's list. So he sees a known officer of Interpol, captures her, puts her in a jar. Doesn't seem like a misunderstanding, even if she's after you.
Are you crazy, Sly? Clockwerk probably stuck her there to trap you.
But if I don't do anything, Carmelita's doomed.
You know, at first I wondered how Clockwerk knew Carmelita was associated with us and a love interest. But then I thought, maybe he got this whole Fiendish Five thing together just to get Sly to chase him down, and then he just watched us during it to learn what we were like.
Sly Cooper. I should have known you were behind this.
You dense motherfucker, what gave you any inkling that I was working with Clockwerk? And if you read my file, you'd know Clockwerk murdered my family. You don't read the files, do you?
You sentimental fool. Empathy has always been the downfall of the Cooper clan.
That is the most joy we ever hear out of Clockwerk in the entire franchise.
I knew this was a trap. Looks like I'm going to have to do some fast and furious hacking to shut down that gas before Sly's brain is turned to cheese.
Vin Diesel, Fast and Furious. Ha ha ha. And his brain turned to cheese. What? That gas isn't turning his brain to cheese. It's inducing brain death, Bentley. He's literally choking. Clockwerk, an immortal owl with the wisdom of ages, doesn't realize that Bentley's hacking his systems and doesn't try to, I don't know, hack back. You know, like what happened in Transformers Animated Season 3.
Huh, wait, I need that cane. It's been in my family for generations.
Well, then maybe don't take a swing at a robotic falcon that is literally working for the worst enemy for your clan.
I'll cover you while you get it back. If you can, make your way to the top of the death ring. I stashed my jetpack there before Clockwerk nabbed me.
What were you doing here, Carmelita? I guess you figured we'd go after the last member, but how did you know where he was? We didn't even know until Bentley figured it out from analyzing some metal in Panda King's lair. And I get that Clockwerk's mysterious and not even Interpol knows what he really looks like, but you couldn't tell he's, you know, the giant owl-looking thing from the silhouettes in your files?
Well, maybe I'll give you a 10-second head start.
That Carmelita line delivery was so soon today, it was almost actually adorable.
Sly, behind you!
Wait, where did Clockwerk come from? Was he just nesting in the top of the death ray? Or I guess controlling it, might have a control center, but again, why didn't he put one in his own body? And, or were you just chilling out in the lava below the death ray?
Sly Cooper, you have escaped my gas chamber and destroyed my death ray. Remarkable. You Coopers always find a way to beat me.
Well, I mean, Bentley's really the one that freed me, so that's more on you for not noticing him hacking in. And Carmelita destroyed the force field generator that kept your death ray up, which, again, you probably should have incorporated into your own robotic body, so yeah, that's pretty much on you.
Always. So that was you in the background of all those old pictures in the Thievious Racoonous. How old are you?
Perfection has no age.
What? You're immortal?
Revenge is the prime ingredient in the fountain of youth. I've kept myself alive for hundreds of years with a steady diet of jealousy and hate, awaiting the day when I would finally eclipse your family's thieving reputation.
Which would put an end to you, because then your Clockwerk brain wouldn't be able to fill itself with hate and therefore fuel your immortality. I thought your whole shtick was you'd leave one child alive so you could continue living with immortality, but if you kill Sly here and now, you'll die, but then again, that might be what you want. You know, considering what we learned about Clockwerk's part in the second game, it's kinda sad this fight's a little bland. I mean, he could swipe at him with his slicing steel talons, he could be hypnotizing us with his eyes, but no. He just flies around, shoots fireballs, and nothing else. Thematically, this fight is amazing, and the idea of cultivated skill and knowledge built up with Clockwerk versus inherited skill and knowledge built up with the Thievious Racoonous is actually quite an interesting parallel.
Nice shooting, Sly! You got him! Wow, that's one tough owl.
I don't get it. You're so familiar with my family. You must have known my father had a son. If you hated the Cooper so much, why did you let me live when you stole the Thievious Racoonous?
Because I wanted to show the world that without your precious book, the Cooper line was nothing.
Yeah, me and Sly collected all the pages, so you kinda have a point, but what about those people who take Sly and don't collect all the pages and only get the ones from Panda King and all the others? It kinda loses its weight when you, fight a Sly Cooper who didn't collect all the pages.
Well, there's where you're wrong.
The Thievious Racoonous doesn't create great thieves. It takes great thieves to create the Thievious Racoonous.
Sly, this is the only reason you even bothered finding the Fiendish Five and taking them down. To get the pages back to rebuild the book. And yeah, the book does create great thieves. They all inherit, learn from it, and become greater thieves than the previous. That also includes you, Sly, so now your argument doesn't hold weight. Come to think of it, I don't think we ever see Sly make a new technique to put in the book. Closest we get is Sly's father in Sly 3, you know, sliding on lasers.
Enough, Sly Cooper. It ends here. I will finish you like I finished your father. And the Cooper line will be erased, and the only Master Thief will be Clockwerk.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be gone, but so will you, because you won't have anything to hate. I guess the Cooper legacy, but without Cooper bloodline, which I think is the main crux of your hatred, yeah, your immortality would be gone, you'd be dead.
Now's your only chance, Sly! You've got to get to his head and destroy it before his auto-reconstructs
Bentley, how do you know any of that? How do you know his head is the main source of his metallic regeneration? How do you even know he has metallic regeneration to begin with?
Cooper! You will never be with me. Clockwerk is superior.
This is the most anger Clockwerk has ever shown, and probably will ever, considering this is the last time we ever see him as himself. And you can't really call yourself superior when you didn't stop their friends from, you know, ruining your death ray, stopping them from being gassed, or letting them live.
It took some tricky maneuvering, but I managed to snatch that last piece of the Thievious Racoonous from Clockwerk's claw. I had taken down each member of the Fiendish Five: Raleigh, Mugshot, Ms. Ruby, the Panda King, and finally Clockwerk. I'd beaten them all one by one and reclaimed my birthright. Of course, there was no way I could have gotten here without the help of my pals. I know this hasn't been easy for them, yet they stuck with me through it all. Murray, boy, it took a lot of guts for him to get out in the field with me. I know he was scared, but he's got more heart than anyone I've ever known. And thank goodness for Bentley. Without his expertise, I'd have never found my way off that rooftop in Paris.
You're kidding me. Back in level 1, you wouldn't have figured out how to get off the roof? Man, Sly, you really do need these guys.
A guy couldn't ask for a better gang of friends. Who could ever forget the lovely Carmelita? Looks like we're not going to be friends anymore. Now that Clockwerk's death ray is out of commission, we're back to playing cops and robbers.
Well, they went this far. Why not one more furry cleavage shot for the road?
I thought for sure she was going to slap the handcuffs on me right then and there. But instead, she was true to her word and gave me that 10-second head start. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I felt bad leaving her stranded on that giant rock, but I knew it wouldn't be long before we'd see each other again.
Wow, Sly, really? You didn't even leave the key in the general vicinity? I mean, you left Carmelita on top of a damn volcano. Oh yeah, and Carmelita endorsed the killing of a known criminal. Police brutality? Yes. Yes, it is. I mean, yeah, Clockwerk said he was immortal. Of course he'd come back. Although I question why he, in his own personality, didn't come back and we just ended up with Clockla.
I hate to tell you this, Sly, but the Thievious Racoonous isn't fully restored. You're gonna have to go back and unlock all the vaults to find the pages you're missing.
And by all the vaults, you mean the one that Clockwerk wrote that's in Panda King's lair. Also, what was Clockwerk's page that he had? You're not gonna tell me? God damn it, Bentley.
There is some good news, though. A friend of mine in Japan just sent me this really cool movie. And guess what? It's all about us.
Yeah, somehow it's a movie about your exploits in this very game that I don't think anyone really knows about. Also, why do these Japanese cutscenes look so much better and so much cooler than the actual game? Speaking of these cutscenes, you're telling me a Japanese studio in 2002 managed to give us this anime quality cutscenes, yet we don't even get a Sly Cooper, like, animated show on Netflix. We got cucked out on the movie. The least you could do is give us a show.
Press the circle to enter the vault code. Multiple blood vessels burst in my brain while figuring this out. The code had better be 231. Amazing! Colonel Reed Cooper's time stopper technique. Press the triangle button and execute a flashbang that will stun all guards in the world for a few seconds.
Apparently it's Sly's Confederate ancestor who figured out how to initiate the powers of Zawaldo! Tokyo Tomone! I watch anime. I'll be here all night. Thank you very much.
At long last, the Thievious Racoonous restored to its original state. The first time I held the whole thing under my arm since I was 8 years old. The same weight that all my ancestors had felt beneath their arms as they had passed it on. Although, while other family members may have been great thieves, they all inherited the book. I got a chance to earn it. I had taken down the Fiendish Five, having used the moves my ancestors taught me, and become a master thief along the way. The time had come for me to chronicle my own adventures into the great book. This is gonna be fun.
Like how fighting your ancestral enemy, he crippled your best friend. Or how your father's old cohort nearly killed you, your friends, and stole all your family loot. You really want to put in your family ancestral book that your ancestral inheritance fucked you over twice?
You've done it, Sly! The Thievious Racoonous is complete! Now, try beating all the Master Thief sprints to unlock the designer's commentary. Once you've unlocked them all, I've got a special behind-the-scenes movie to show you.
Absolutely not. I'm not that hardcore to go out of my way and do more strict time trials, thank you very much.
How could this happen?